Okay, everybody, it's day 83, and I just wanted to give you a long-winded little message today. And there was a couple different questions that came up on Facebook that I wanted to, talk about. So, one of the biggest things is, let me see, where do I start? God, this is going to be long-winded if I can't think. Okay, I need to be a little bit more prepared in my videos, and I guess you would agree in that too, so I don't, stuff like that. Okay, so, I actually posted a question of the day onto the Facebook group, Face Body Painters. What brands do you like the best and why, and what do you like the worst and why? And several people come up with different things, what they like the best and how they use it and everything else. Shannon Randolph actually put in there that, she likes this and that because these get gunky on brushes and stuff. She's in a hot, humid area and everything else. And I just want to reiterate what I did in a past video, and that's if you have a paint that's really gunky, okay, it's really soft, especially in the heat and the humidity and stuff, use a little bit more water on a clean brush and roll it over the top lightly. You'll pick up that paint, and if it gets to be gunky on the brush, take a baby wipe, put it down, and roll it across the wet baby wipe. It'll, thin it out a little bit for you so it's not as gunky. Okay, there's always going to be problems, and people always have the brands that they like the best. And that's never going to change. You're always going to have that. So find the paints that work the best for you. I find Diamond FX works best for me. I've learned to use it the way I feel it works for me. Now, it may not be the best for you. Don't worry about it. That's not a big deal. Okay? There's tons of other paints out there. In fact, I've already been contacted by a European body art who's going to send me a catalog and some sample paints to demonstrate in some of my tutorials so that I can try it out and let you guys know what the product's like too. They said it's really good. I want to try it out. I want to see if it really is. I'm going to be as honest as possible. If I don't like the paints, that's fine. I may give away the paints, in a contest or something like that, and help promote European body art. I have no problem doing that because everybody has their own style of paints and their own brands. So, if you like Wolf, you like Wolf. If you like DFX, you like DFX. If you like Tag, you like Tag. Snazaroo, people are starting to veer away from. Here's a little quick tip. If your Snazaroo paints are starting to dry out, when they dry out, they go dry completely. They will crack and they will become brittle and really non-usable anymore. What you do is when your paints start to dry out a little bit with the Snazaroo, spray a little bit of water on top of it to saturate it, to where you get a nice puddle of water on top. Put a cover on it and put it in a place where it'll saturate in. Not in a hot place where it's going to gain bacteria, but in a cool, dry place where it's going to absorb all the water. Once you have all the water absorbed, it makes it nice and moist again. It's not going to be that much of a problem. Now, if you take it out into a hot environment, the black gets really gunky and soft, whereas the green dries out really quick and will crack first out of any other color. Guarantee it. I've had it happen in the past, and it's going to happen again. Okay? So, whatever brands you got, use them. Use the ones you like the best, because this is your style, this is your painting, this is what you do. So, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They'll try to convince you to try another paint or to use another paint, or like I do, I try to tell people this is how you can use the paint a little bit better, because say you have a problem with Diamond FX, I'm using it a lot, I know how to use it, so I'm showing you the best ways to use the products and to keep them from having problems. I am going to do a little tutorial video that I'll post on YouTube, not in my tutorial website, to show you the proper way of using the paints even when they're gunky and stuff, so that you'll actually get a better feel for it. And I know Wolf doesn't have that much of a problem. They do. Believe it or not, all paints have this problem, okay? You just may not be in the same situation, and it may not be in the same situation as the other paints, but they all have the same problems, okay? No matter what it is. So unless it's a pressed powder, then it's not going to melt. It's just going to dry out, and I mean, it uses a lot more water and this and that and everything else, and you know, blah blah blah. Okay, so another question I had was how to clean brushes. Well, I'm actually going to get into that when I get home. I'm going to do an extensive tutorial on how to clean your brushes, the best way to use them, how to boil your brushes to get the bristles right. But I have a couple products here that I want to show you. Okay, pink soap. Okay, it's made by Mona Lisa Art Products. Okay, you can buy this at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, AC Moore, Joann's, you know, whatever craft store you have. Look for pink soap. This stuff is really great. I got the small little bottle. I didn't need a lot, but you can get larger bottles, and it is a pinkish liquid. It's a soap and it's got a conditioner in it. So when you go to wash your brushes, get your brushes wet. Get your brushes wet. Put a little dime size dot in the palm of your hand. Take your brush and roll it around and clean it off in the pink soap, okay, until you don't get any more color in there. If you need to rinse it off and put another dime size in your hand, and then keep doing it until you don't have any more color come out of the brush. Now, some of the brushes are going to stain colors, okay, and you just use the pink soap for that. That's really great. It'll clean your brushes off. It'll make them soft. Now, if your bristles are falling apart, there's two different ways you can do it. One way is the Vargas way, which you boil your brushes. You actually boil some water. Once the water is in boiling, you stick your brushes in for about 30 seconds. No more than that, because it's going to loosen up the glue and you're going to really have a problem. But you stick it in for 30 seconds, you let the bristles saturate with that hot water. Then you form them, and you can use several different products and stuff to keep the hold, and you know, hairspray, gel, and stuff like that. You can even use this brush shaper. After you rinse off and you reform the brush and stuff like that, you dip it in here, and it's almost like an acrylic glaze that goes on it, but it's not. It's very water soluble. You dip it in, you mold it with your fingers, and you set it to the side to dry. Once it's at that shape that you want, you let it dry. Now, this is supposed to keep the form of the brush. So when you want to use it again, you just roll it in your fingers to loosen up the, you know, the glue, pretty much. And you can use water to take off the excess and stuff, and it's supposed to keep the shape of the brush. I've been using it, and it's actually done pretty well for my brushes. I haven't had any problems with them. So they're both made by Mona Lisa Art Products. So go out and get this brush shaper and the pink soap. Guaranteed they're going to help you out and stuff. If you don't want to use the boiling, you can just use the brush shaper, and it should work well for you. That's what I did, because I didn't have a way of boiling my water. So those are a couple ways you can get your brushes back. Now, everybody in the world, it's just like paint brands. Your brushes, if you know how to use a brush, it doesn't matter what brush you use to do painting with. They're all fine if you know how to use them, okay? But for the lesser experienced people, okay, there are certain brushes out there that are really good, that are made by artists or sponsored by artists or helped produced by artists that actually work for them and work for other people. Now, Mark Reed has his own set of brushes out, and they're supposed to be the best in the world. I haven't tried them yet. I've heard a lot of raves and reviews from other people that say they are some of the best brushes. Now, I've also heard some other people say that they are just too soft bristled. Okay? So, like I said, just try everything out. Try to work with it. I know you don't want to waste your paints and stuff. So, you know, just figure out what works for you and go with that, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. You know, you could always help out people like they do on Facebook, and, you know, say, well, I use this and it works really well on me, maybe you should try it. But don't force somebody to use something that doesn't really work for them, okay? I mean, if somebody's going to go out and buy a $20 brush, it better work for them, or else they're going to be really pissed off that they spend 20 bucks on a brush that they don't like, okay? So, I mean, when you get with jams, have people try out the different brushes, the different brands of paints and stuff like that. Let them share. That way they can really see what it is that they were talking about and what you were talking about. Okay, so done with the brushes. Alright, so the last question I had, and I actually posted this as a question of the day, is how do you deal with customers at the end of your festival or show, and how do you deal with the rude ones? Well, I had a couple things, and one of the problems was, and I said this in a past video, was, I told everybody I had to close down. I couldn't take any more people after this last child, and put my hand on the child's head to show them this is the last child. And one lady got upset and went down to the other location where my partner was at and complained that I was really rude and I turned them away after they were waiting, and I didn't paint their handicapped child in a wheelchair. Well, no discrimination. If I'm closed, I'm closed. You're going to piss people off no matter what. But Camille Easton, who created the Face and Body Painters group on Facebook, actually came up with a great way, and so did some other people. Now, what the other people said and what Camille said that I totally agree with is numbers. Don't hand out numbers in the beginning. Only hand out numbers at the end, and go from anywhere from 5 to 10 numbers, depending on what you can do. Give each child, after that one part, give each child a number, and the last number stops. For the rest of the people, and this is what I like what Camille said, give them something. Give them a temporary tattoo and say you're sorry that you can't paint their face, but it's over and stuff. But give them something that they can take with them that they can use. Okay? And that really helps out with this. Now, she even said take it one step further and make it a customized tattoo. So, you can use logos, you can use your own designs, your own drawings. Don't use a copyrighted image and stuff like that unless you have them in bulk and you give them away anyways. But one of the things is, and I had a lot of comments on my hat here, they like my hat where it says no comment. I'm going to see if I can find a hat that's similar to it and have my logo either screen printed or embroidered on top. I'm also going to make tattoos, just as that's off topic. But with the tattoos, I'm actually going to design my own logo I have my own logo, but I'm going to design tribal or whatever around the logo that I can get a custom tattoo made of. And then I'll hand those out at the end, and it'll make it a lot better. So I already told Camille that I'm going to send her one as soon as I get them made. So if you guys would like a sample of my tattoos when I actually get them made, just give me a ring. I'm going to give away 100 free tattoos when I get those made. So, got a guy over here looking at me, wondering what I'm doing. But that's it for my video for today. So, if you have any more questions, go ahead and ask them down below in my blog, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you have to. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be making these videos, and yesterday's video is up here. Tomorrow's video is going to be over here, and I'll check you guys out later. Bye.